tide's flowing. Nothing much more than that needed. Nice thin sort of 4-pound braid outfit. Just bounce that across the bottom gently on a slow retrieve. You can fish there as well without the anchor. That's another advantage. If somewhere where there's not too much in the way of a current, just have a drogue out the back just to slow you down in the wind, and you'll cover more ground that way. You can also fish the soft plastics obviously at anchor with a burley bag down. You're not covering the same ground. There's another bite. That's a better fish. That's a better fish. Oh yes. What does it feel like? Carwai or snapper? This is Carwai's coming to the top. Here she comes. Yeah, this one's a bit acrobatic. Gonna get some wet sunglasses in a minute. Behind you. Not a huge one, but a nice size bait for a kingfisher, I would imagine. Walking up a bit. Generally when I catch a carwai, also good fun on soft plastics as well, same as gurnard. I'll keep one as a smoker and I'll let the others go. There's enough carwai out there to be caught if you want them. No sense in taking any more than are needed. It's a size one that for a smoked fish, it's not too big. I'm out of touch so it doesn't make a massive splash when it gets to the top, hopefully. I don't bother with a net, that's another thing as well. I do have one sometimes take out, but never usually use it. Everything seems to get tangled up in it and it's got a bit of a funny growth on it. It's got a louse attached to its fin there. I'll free that off. I think I'll let this one go actually. I feel a bit sorry for him having sea lice all over. If I can keep one later on in the session, it'll be a bit fresher anyway, I suppose. There she is. There she goes. Assuming that's a shearpool. I generally take about a kilo of, well, I do take not about a kilo of pilchard out with me. Generally enough for a 2-rod session, 3 or 4 hours or so. The other thing I try and do as well as best as possible is to look after the bait. Brought up fishing the UK, where, as anyone who's fished there might know, there ain't a great deal around, and the fish that you do catch you earn. So you need all things in your favour really. And one of those is the top quality bait in the best condition as you can. So I keep it in the little thing in the centre of the kayak there, which seems to keep it pretty cool. If it's a warm day, I'll bung a few ice packs in there as well, as to keep it that way. Once it starts to get hot and turns sort of mushy and horrible, it's kind of way past its best. And I'm a bit of a fussy person when it comes to bait. I like to fish for the best quality stuff and keep it that way. So look after it, same as you fish really. That's why I keep them in the back there under cover, and a bit of ice or ice packs or something in there just to keep them cool. It's long enough, and then when I get back to the van I'll have a chilli bin full of salted seawater, which has been chilled with a few more ice packs. Bung them in there, get home. Usually depends on the time. I'll fill it and stuff tomorrow. So I'll bung a few more ice packs and keep that water as close to freezing as I can. Then when I come to fill it them tomorrow, they'll still be in real good nick. It seems a real shame to me to see good fish spoil in the sun. You see, unfortunately, quite a lot. Certainly ruins the eating quality, that's for certain. Anyway, I was saying something about soft plastics, but I can't remember where I was with it. Probably talking about Lyle Bay, fishing the little minnows and things like that. As I say, carwai and snapper and gurnard are the main targets. You're not going to get any snapper around Lyle Bay. It's gurnard, trevally, carwai, really you're after there. The other place I've used them with some success is the shoals, Falcon shoals in the harbour. Nice fish in there generally, because there's a lot of different species of fish. I've God, I've caught, I'm trying to remember them all now. So I've got red cod, blue cod, trevally, gurnard, conger eels, snapper, carwai, elephant fish, barracuda, wrasse, spotties, probably a few more dotted around in there as well I've caught. So a nice mixed bag of fish in there. Here you're going to generally end up with, depending on time of the year, snapper, carwai, gurnard, spiny dogs on occasions, especially if the water's cool, barracuda again if the water's cool, god awful blind eels, you'll get a few of them from time to time. I've also hooked into a few 7-gill sharks, some of them bigger than me, which get released before they get anywhere near the kayak. Carpet sharks, you'll find a few of them around as well. What else have we got here? I've caught. About it really. So fishing over sand, not going to get any of the reef species, which is generally why I avoid the reef unless I'm in deep water, because you tend to get plagued with undersized blue cod and spotties and that, and they just strip your baits down in no time at all. Mackerel or somewhere like that, slightly different, because you can get onto an area called the fence line, which runs out from the beach adjacent to the cliffs, which are on your right as you go out. You can fish that in about 20 metres or so or more if you wanted, if the conditions are good, and you can get some nice terraki from there, as I've done in the past. It's a good snapper country in the summertime. Fishing here is pretty much a no-no in the winter. The snapper would have boggered off and gurnard would have thinned out. You can still get your carwai and that, but most people come out here to snapper. One of the better spots really. Anyway, I've talked enough. There's a pretty brief pause. Straight back in again. Nodding feeling of a snapper. Although I want to be proved wrong, I get confused between snapper and carwai. Especially the carwai fighting deep. This one's got a nod to it. I don't know if you can see the rod or not, but snapper nod their heads and you can generally. It says as a gurnard comes to the surface probably. Whatever it is, it's slightly bigger than the last thing I caught, which is good. Leader. What have we got? I was right. Doesn't happen very often. Slightly bigger, as I say, than the other one. Good size eating fish that. I'm keeping one eye on what I'm doing and one eye on the other rod as well. God, die. Firm hold of these when you're trying to get them in the back of the well. I usually have a fish stringer, but I left it at home today because I've had them flap out of my hands before, even though they're supposedly dead. Let's just cue and pilly again. Bit of extra burley with the head there. Nice sized pilchards these actually. You probably won't see them, but sometimes you end up with walloping very massive ones that the hook won't fit through properly. But these are a good size, quite small. A lot of people, certainly from the boats anyway, they fish bigger baits than me. Half pilchards, whole pilchards or whatever. I generally just use plenty of bait. I generally use smallish-ish cubes that fit nicely on for a recurve. It's important to match the bait with the hook, obviously. Snap between £10 and £11. I've also had a £20 snapper out of here as well that I've also just caught on a cube like this. I've tried many different times using bigger pilchards, bigger baits. Doesn't make much difference, to be perfectly honest with you, just makes them hard as a hook. good thing with the cube baits at this size, sitting on a recurve, is that every single time the fish will hook themselves, and it's just a nice bite-sized morsel really, with a hook guaranteed to find the corner of the mouth each time. Don't worry about losing too many fish on the bite. There we go, just tangled around the tip of it. Still is, in fact. A closer look at this, I think. It's better. It's just an ever such a gentle northwesterly or something. I think it's just blown up. Nothing of any importance. I mentioned the forecast, which we'll have to see if it pans out or not, is for a calming period now, and then a southerly just starting to pick up towards the evening when I'll be buggering off, I suppose. Good swell map anyway. Right, back in a bit. Ah, and we're in again. The rod holder did its job. Coming on this rod at the moment, which is interesting. And that's another snapper, that is, I reckon. Ooh. Maybe even bigger than the other one. Another nice thing about fishing in a situation where you've got the wind flowing in the same direction as the tide, everything flows that way, straight down the bow of the kayak. So you're not going to really run into problems of tangling with your anchor line, God forbid, or burley line or anything like that. What have we got then? Where are you? Oh, it's right again. It's about the same as the other one, I think. Tell by now I'm not a big fan of flasher rigs or anything like that, anything fancy. I really don't think you can beat fresh, good quality bait, to be honest, well presented. You can do that. I don't think you need any other fancy adornments to your hooks. The only thing I do make a concession to though is, you won't see them, but two very small beads, spotlight or something like that, which I thread on, which I sit near the hook. Now I fished two rods in the past, one with these beads and one without, and on 3 occasions the one with the beads is outfished the one without. Not sure why. I think a little bit of red just perhaps draws the fish's attention a bit more to the bait, blood or something like that. I don't know, but so I'm a very sceptical person when it comes to attractors, but I'll still fish with that because I know that I feel a bit more confident in the fact that it'll work, you know. It's all about confidence. If you've got confidence in fishing flashes and not playing baited rigs, then go for it. But I fish flashes side by side, and sometimes I've found the flashes perform less well than the just the standard baited rig, really, and certainly I've never noticed any improvement. More trouble than they're worth, and expensive as well. Yes, I'll put him on twice, so I'll probably stay where he is. These pilchards are still nicely frozen, they're just on the point of starting to defrost now, which makes them easy to hook, but they're still in prime condition. Oh, she goes again. Just throwing the line a couple of 3 metres or so in front of the kayak, just letting it drift down. I'm fishing a 5 ounce weight here, and it's just allowing me a little bit of drift before it hits the bottom, and plenty of weight there to keep it there. Sometimes you find yourself fishing with 6 or even 8 ounces of weight, even with a braid setup I've got here. It's a £15–20 braid, I think it is.